Okay, there's going to be probably a lot of editing in this video. That's probably enough light. This is satisfying. Look at potato chips. They're like potato chips. Because we kind of square this up. And then go here, square that up. You'll lose a little bit of potato. So here they are. So I have this type. And then these should cook real fast. That's probably good. Okay, so I've got things kind of going. I'm doing the fish and chips. And I cleaned up and took a shower because I had mentioned, I worked out. Well, I did cardio. So here's the fish. I'm patting it dry because I washed it with water. And you know, water and oil don't mix. So this Signature brand, if you notice, it's really pale. But this one is very yellow. As far as I know, peanuts are peanuts. So why is one yellow and one pale? As you can see. I would venture to say that the pale one could be cut with something. And then I shredded some of the potato. And I just make hash brown potatoes with it. And then over here, this is the Louisiana. I have one here. I showed it to you. This dry ingredient is nothing more than this New Orleans style fish fry. And this is good stuff. I got 5 eggs in there, which I'm going to whisk. Oh, and here's my dry ingredients for the homemade dry seasoning that I'm going to be putting on the fish. What do you call the dry seasoning that you put on the fish? The fish flour skin? I'm not sure what you call it. What do you call it? The deep fat dip. Now, generally, that's not what it's called. Usually when you do the dry ingredients for like fish, unlike chicken, the dry ingredients add this to flour. This is just the herbs and the seasonings, the spices and stuff. There's about 5 or 6 of them. There's salt, there's pepper, there's some paprika, there's a little bit of slap your mama in here, and I might add more. And there's a little bit of this Italian bruschetta stuff that I get from my local Italian shop, and I like this stuff. It's got about 4 or 5 different herbs in there, and then I use Lori seasoned salt, and of course I use celery salt, which is also in this. It comes with that. And I break up the yolks. I add regular non-fat or low-fat, plain, unflavored, no sugar yogurt. And then this is my wet ingredients, but to this I'm going to add a carbonated water. So I'll be adding this seltzer water to this. Now you really got to, whip this up to smooth out the yogurt with the egg. And this particular brand of yogurt I've never had before. I don't think so. It's taken a while to smooth out, which means it's got a lot of milk solids in it, which means it's probably a pretty good yogurt. But you can see it thickened it up. That's what you want. This is the seasonings I'm going to put in with the flour. So now let me get the flour in there. And I'm using bread flour. Even though I've got some baking powder and baking soda in my dry mix, and this has that in there as well. This has got baking powder in it because it's bread dough. I'm gonna just pour it like that much. But I'm also gonna add, and this is the first time for me, and I've never really made super good fried fish. So this will be a first for me also. So this is masa flour. I use it when I make tamales. I'm going to use a little bit of that. Not quite 1 for 1, about half. And then I got to mix that. And so there's my custom mix. And so far it's just 2 ingredients. But now I'm going to add all this. And I kind of rinse as I go, like that thing doesn't need to be washed. So now I'm going to mix this in here like this. So there's that. I'll probably spice it up. Really give it some spice. So it would be, it's going to have some bite to it. And then this is the Old Bay. And I'm going to put Old Bay in here. Let me pour it out. Just about that much. You can overdo it. And I may have overdone it. And then the herbs. The herbs really balance it. The herbs give it something that you don't see a lot of. I don't see anybody else putting herbs in, but I like this mixture. It works so good in chicken that I'm just going to put it in here, a lot of it. So there it is. And then here is going to be my cocktail. And I'm not sure if I've ever made this before either. So here's a glass with some ice. And here's Baker's 7, which is a bourbon, and it's 107 proof. This is aged. They're aged at least 7 years. And this on the neck it has a tag and it tells you. This one actually was 8 years and 8 months. That's about the oldest I've ever seen. I've heard of 8 years and 10 months. But when I seen these, I grabbed a couple of them. It was about 2 years ago at my local liquor store, because you don't see the 8 years, 8 months very often. And yeah, there you go. So, and then this is Campari. And I'm going to put a little bit of that in. It's real sweet. And it's syrupy. And then this is bitters. And a little bit of bitters. And then I like to top that off with a lot of times I'll use Dr. Pepper, but this was in the refrigerator. And there it is. And then you just kind of stir it a little bit. Let's see how that turned out. Cheers. It's pretty good. You know, adding the Coke to it really helped. I drink a lot of these. And here you go. You can see that's what I'm talking about. The first thing to do is you soak the fish in here, or you dip them in here. And I could get 4 of them in there, and I have 4 left. So there's only 8 fish. Well, these are doing really well. But they're oh yeah. See the fish? It's breaking apart. The fish is already cooked. The fish is already cooked. This is doing really well. Really well. See, even the chips are browning in here. The chips are browning. I didn't expect the fish to fall apart like that. Do you know how many people have asked for my fried fish and chips recipe? I can count on one hand. 0. 0. Well, the first thing I noticed is I'm not sure that this is actually fermented malt vinegar. Because malt vinegar is supposed to be fermented. It almost tastes like something I would mix up at home here. That's kind of like it. I could be wrong. But I don't think so. Now they're starting to get brown. If you notice. But look. Look at that. That's my dry mix. The chips turned out to be chips. Now you gotta salt them, right? Wow. Wow. Well, they get heavy when they get all that stuff on there. Really getting. So here's a piece from my dry mix. The bread flour, the masa flour, the masa corn flour, the herbs and spices. Sensational. A chip from there. Oh my God. Okay. That's what I was hoping for. Wow. So here's a piece. It's hot. Here's a piece. Very thick fish. Cod. With the malt vinegar. French fry. I don't know if you can hear that crunch. the deep, rich. Woo! I want to emphasize the crunch. A lot of water coming off the fries. And granted, keep in mind that I'm not dipping these. There's just a little bit of salt on them. That's better than any potato chip ever that you could have. You can't have a better potato chip. There's no way. This is pure indulgence. I had no idea it was going to come out this good. I had no idea. I'm not exaggerating. This is the best fish and chips I've ever had in my... Well, there's a place down the street that specializes in it. And they use the fish that they use is probably a higher quality. I don't think they use cod. They use something from Norway or something. There's another type of fish that's used. I forget what it's called. Maybe haddock. This is the best fish fry I've ever made in my entire life. I finally got it dialed in. Happy cooking. I'm going to finish this and have one more. It's always better at the end. Ooh, but it's good. If you have a good bourbon, you almost can't go wrong. I can't tell you how much enjoyment I get out of being in this kitchen and cooking something and putting all this effort into it. I'm very pleased. All right, I'll talk to you later. Bye.